2 winters ago, it got down to 5 degrees here. I had 2 full beds of onions out in the garden, nothing over them, they're just flapping in the breeze. And everything I had read to that point said that 20 degrees was the lowest temperature they could take. So I panicked and I pulled up a whole bed and hauled them into my basement to save them. And I ruined them, almost every single one. And the bed I left out in the cold was actually the best bed of onions that I grew that year. I'll tell you exactly why what I did was wrong in a few minutes, because it's really not what you think. But first, I want to talk about why your onions stayed small, because it's almost never the reason that people assume. I'm Michelle from Growing the Good Life. A few years back, I made a video about fertilizing onions, and it ended up being one of the most watched things I've ever put out. And everything in it is still true. But I've grown a lot more onions since then, and I've learned that while fertilizer type and timing is important, it's not the only thing standing between most folks and big onions. So today, I'm not giving you a list of onion tips. I'm giving you the 5 judgment calls that I make every single year. These are the 5 decisions that actually determine whether you pull up something the size of a golf ball or something that weighs close to a pound. Call number 1, buy for your latitude, not for the catalog. Okay, let's set the scene. It's late February and I walk into my local Lowe's here right around onion planting time. And there on the rack sits Walla Walla onion starts. Looking healthy, looking super reasonable, and they will never ever bulb up for you here. Here's the thing that most folks never get told. Onions don't bulb because of heat. They don't bulb on a specific date. They bulb at a specific day length. Every variety is waiting on a certain number of daylight hours, and when the days hit that number, the plant quits making leaves and starts making a bulb. That's how the whole machine works regardless of variety. There are 3 major types here in the US. You have short day onions. They take 10 to 12 hours of daylight to start bulbing up. We plant these in the fall. Next come intermediate day from 12 to 14 hours of daylight. Also, we can plant these. We plant these in the spring or just before spring. Long day onions need 14 to 16 hours to bulb up. That's up north. That's going to be your Walla Walla onions. So here's my system to figure all this out. I work this in a specific order every single time, and I call it the onion order. You start with your latitude first, then your planting window. Then you'll decide whether you need sweet or storage onions. And the variety name, that comes dead last. Most people start with the variety name because that's what the catalog shows them. That's backward. And that's how you end up with tiny Walla Wallas in your Carolina garden. Call number 2. Will you plant in fall or spring? It depends. Before I'd ever overwintered a single onion, I heard a fella online say that down south, fall is your only window. And if you missed it, you missed onions for the year. Well, we're in the south, and that's not true. You've got 2 real windows, and both of them work. So this is a fork in the road. You're going to have to make a decision here. You've got 2 options, and this is the judgment call. Now, you're going to want to plant in fall if your spring beds are already spoken for. So if you've got a super heavy planting session planned for your spring beds and you've got no room, plant them out in the fall, and they'll be finishing up in April. Clean them out. You can plant some spring things right behind them. Or you can plant in spring if you've got the room, or if you can't find fall transplants to buy, because there are far fewer places that sell them in the fall. So the 2 questions I would ask you here are, what does your garden look like in April, and how much hunting are you willing to do this fall? That's what decides it, not the calendar. Now, if you land on spring, don't feel one bit bad about it. Both of these work. So you can plant in spring or plant in fall, or you can do both like I do. Now, I'm giving you the judgment calls in this video. What I can't do in 15 minutes is give you the whole calendar, the troubleshooting, the exact quantities, and the printables. So I put all of that into a guide, and it's called Why Your Onions Stayed Small. The link's below if you want to go deeper. Either way, I want you to stay with me because we're getting closer to the mistake that I mentioned in the beginning. Now, the green top, like I said, your green growth above ground, that's the engine. Your bulb is just storage. So every bit of size that your bulb will end up with came down out of those leaves. So your whole job is to build the biggest plant you can before that light trigger hits and then quit. This is call number 3. I want you to feed that green engine and then get out of the way. There are 2 phases of fertilizing onions. At planting, you're going to put in a little balanced fertilizer with decent phosphorus and potassium content, and that goes in the bottom of the planting hole. And you'll set your plant right down on top of it. Not on the surface of the soil, not in a trench between your rows that we'll talk about later. It's down in the hole where it's going to break down slowly over a few months, and it's waiting there when the roots will start to reach for it. Now, 2 weeks after you plant them out, that's when you start your high nitrogen. You'll use alfalfa meal or blood meal if you're organic. That's what goes in the center trench, which is just a shallow furrow between your two rows. You never want to put that right on top of the plant because nitrogen up against an onion will burn it. Then you're going to stop. Once bulbing starts, leaf growth is over, and any nitrogen that you put on after that is money that you're pouring on the ground. So for my spring crop, for example, I pull the second week of June. So let's go back 4 weeks. I quit nitrogen feeding mid-May. Now these two parts of your fertilizers, they go in two different places. And sometimes folks get that wrong too. Your phosphorus and potassium go down in the planting hole underneath the plant or right around the roots at planting time. Your nitrogen goes in the trench between the rows later. Different job, different spot, different time. Now here's a note about your fall crop. Your fall crop runs a little bit differently, and the reason is the soil, not the plant. Cold ground will shut your fertilizer down. It won't break down and it won't be available to your roots, so any nitrogen that you put out in December is just sitting there. And remember, you put your potassium and your phosphorus in the soil already next to the root. You haven't fed your onions. You've only wasted money if you start putting nitrogen on them in December. So you wait for February to start that nitrogen protocol. That's when the ground warms up enough for that fertilizer to actually go to work, and it lines up with when the green starts bulking up anyway. You're going to feed that hard then in that same center trench there, a couple inches in, scratch it in, just put it on the surface, and stop that by mid-March when it starts to bulb, because that crop's going to come out in mid to late April. And here's what I think is neat about it. The phosphorus and potassium that you put down in the planting hole back in November, cold is not hurting that one bit. Like, that's a slow job of releasing. You want it to break down easily over a few months so that it's sitting right there when the roots come looking for it. Same winner, two different answers, because one of those jobs needs to happen now and the other needs to happen slowly. The same principle will be working for both seasons. You want to push green growth right up until bulbing, then get out of the way. The only thing that changes here is the dates. Now, call number 4 is leave them in the ground. Okay, back to my 5-degree night. My daddy told me to leave those onions alone. Now, my dad had already told me years back that you couldn't grow bulbing onions around here, and I'd already proved him wrong about that one, so I figured he was wrong about this one too. But he wasn't. Here's what I did wrong. Onions are biennials. That means that after 2 seasons of growth, they send up a flower stalk and they stop growing. And there's nothing you can do about it once they've made up their mind to do it. When I warmed those onions up here in this basement for 2 weeks, they counted that as a spring. So when I put them back out into the ground and it warmed up for real, that was spring number 2 as far as they were concerned. Up came the flower stalks, almost every single one of them, and they quit making bulbs and they started making seed. I ruined them by trying to take care of them. I helicopter parented my onions. So I've learned, here's my call. Leave them where you planted them. Now, I'm not promising you that every onion everywhere can handle 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine did, uncovered in my soil with good roots on them from an on-time fall planting. What I can tell you is I accidentally ran that trial, one bed against another, and the bed that I left alone won the trial. Now here's the last call, call number 5. When you pull your onions depends on what you're using them for. The biggest question I get asked about onions all the time is, when do I pull them? And the honest answer is, it depends on what you want them for. If you're eating them soon, fresh, pull them whenever you want. Honestly, if you see a bulb there, you can pick it and eat it. No, you're not breaking a rule. You can pick them as the tops flop over. If you've got one of them's flopping over, pick that one, eat it. No problem. You leave the rest, right? So an onion neck flopping over is just where the green part meets the bulb is called the neck. And that neck will start to get soft when it's like ready to pull, and it will flop over. That green growth will start to flop over. So when you see the green growth flopped over on your onions, it's not a defect. That's part of the plan. It's ready to pull. So if you're storing your onions, if you want that whole crop for storage, I would wait. Give them every day that you can. So let 30, 40, close to 50% of those necks start to flop over, and then you can pull the whole bed at once and know that you're giving them the best situation for storage. Then you're going to want to cure them somewhere, which is just after you've pulled them, you don't wash them off with water. You just brush off any dirt the best you can. You're going to cure them. You're going to maybe put them on racks somewhere with air moving through around them, out of direct sun and out of the rain for about 2 weeks until your tops go completely brown. Then you're going to cut them down to about 2 inches of dry stem with a little nub pointing out. I put them down. I put the little nub pointing downward on my rack. And I don't rinse them, like I said, ever. You just brush your dirt off with your hand and leave the rest. You're going to leave the dirt on until you actually decide to cook with that onion. And you probably can see behind me, I have some onions on my rack right back there that are in the same position that I just told you about. I cured them and trimmed them about a week ago. And these are the onions that I pulled just earlier this season. Mine live on racks in this basement. It's about 65 to 70 degrees with a dehumidifier running, and that's it. I don't have a root cellar. I don't have a special room. About once a month, I'll come through here and I'll pull anything that's starting to turn. So you know it's starting to rot or turn if it's really soft, okay? And if you start to smell it, pull that's rotting, you can throw it away. My sweet onions last me 6 months down here, and my storage onions can go for 8. Now, here's the money math. Let me put a number on this because this is the part that always pleasantly surprises me. Between the seed, soil, trays, and a few bundles of transplants, it costs me about $60 a year to grow around 480 onions. That's about 13 cents an onion. The same onions at the store, and they don't taste as good and they don't last as long, will run you sometimes over $1 a piece, depending on how heavy they are. Sometimes if they're close to a pound and they're a couple dollars a pound, they could be $2 per onion. So I put $60 in, and I have onions on my table every month of the year and enough to give away. That is real money. Now, tell me in the comments, what's your onion story? Did you ever get golf balls too? And did you find this tip, these judgment calls useful? So again, you can pick up that onion guide down below in the pinned comment if you want to go deeper on this. And as always, I know you could have been anywhere today, but you chose to be here with me, and I really appreciate it. Bye for now.